Hi, my name is Michael. I had my acoustic neuroma surgery 1 month ago on the 20th of October. Um, I decided to post a YouTube video because mine's a success story, and I know there are a lot of people out there that are having the surgery and are worried about it or don't know anything about it and want to know about it, and I thought I'd give a positive take on this surgery. There are a lot of videos on YouTube of pretty bad stuff, really freaking people out. And I guess if you're going in for surgery, you don't want to see the bad stuff, because there's a hell of a lot more good stuff which happens with the surgery. I found out the news about 2.5 months ago. I'd had ringing in my ear for about 2 years, and don't ask why I hadn't approached it. I thought it was just fluid buildup in my ear or my canal or something. But went to a doctor eventually and spoke about it, went to a hearing test, went for an MRI, and they found a 3 centimeter benign tumor, which is an acoustic neuroma. Hearing that news, I really thought my options were going to be the radiation. I thought, oh, well, I read up some stuff on YouTube, on Google, and looked like the radiation was the least intrusive and the way to go. And I felt pretty good about it. I kind of just didn't worry too much about it. In any case, I eventually went to who was eventually my surgeon, but the ear, nose and throat surgeon in Brisbane, and went to go see him, and he was really good, but he kind of laid out the facts, which I appreciated, but at the time it was really scary. He pretty much told me what my options were, and he said, well, surgery, that's your option. He said tumor's too big to be irradiated because it's already touching the brain, so radiation could leak. You don't know what's going to happen in 20 years time, because I'm still a young person, 29. And he said surgery is the way to go, and that night was one of the worst nights I've had in my life. Just absolutely terrified. I'm sure if you've heard this news or you're worried about it, just be prepared. It's really not an easy feeling. Your whole foundation just gets rocked. You just go through life just not worrying about these things, because you shouldn't really have to. If you're 29, you shouldn't really worry about these things. But when you hear news like this, granted it could be worse, but still it's pretty serious news. You've got a tumor in your head. And yeah, for probably a week and a half, 2 weeks, I was a wreck. I was really just so scared for the surgery. I was so scared about my facial nerve. I was so scared about my hearing loss. About going to a 9-hour surgery, and yeah, that took a while for my head and my brain to actually, take hold of that news and actually adapt to it. And I guess that just shows the power of the human brain. You can actually get over something like that and adapt to it. The other thing was we were going to get married on the 15th of October, and my surgery was booked in for the 20th of October. And we did get married, and it was an absolutely beautiful day. We had all my family from overseas, and we decided to keep the news from a lot of the people. We obviously told close family, and the wedding was beautiful. We really got beautiful photos. Everyone was lovely, and it was just a very special day. And then afterwards, 5 days to go to the surgery, we eventually told everyone just what was happening. But it was really good that we kept the news to ourselves, because obviously people, worry, or they get a bit funny or whatever. And yeah, we managed to get through that really well. So that was good. Yeah, so I went in for the surgery, and yeah, I was really nervous the night before, and as you would be going into surgery. And I'm sure if you've had it or you are going through it, just be prepared. It's a bit of a nerve-wracking time, but went in and had a 9 operation on the 20th. 2 surgeons did a fantastic job. I woke up in intensive care, and you really don't feel good when you wake up. You're seeing double, and your balance nerve has been kicked out. If it hasn't already, mine hadn't been. So I was really dizzy. Everything was just feeling weird, and like I was permanently pissed, but not in a good way. And my head was really sore, obviously, because it just cut into my head. But that saying, I was in a very good hospital, and I had very good care, and my family around me, so that really made it a lot easier. Next week I was in hospital, and you kind of get used to things. First time you eat, your jaw's really sore, because I think they do. I don't really know what they do, but my jaw was really sore, and I couldn't really eat a lot, and didn't really have an appetite. But that came back. Brushing teeth is really hard because your facial nerves are a little bit damaged, and or stunned. Mine's stunned, and brush your teeth for the first time and water just squirts out the side, or you're going to stick a straw straight into the back of your mouth, and then you can actually drink. But as with all things, you actually get used to it. And the first week wasn't the easiest. I was getting used to it. I was feeling horrible, but you got to just think that this thing's not out of my head. I'm in a good hospital. I've been taken care of, and I've got family around me that love me and care for me. So there are a lot of good things. In any case, I came out of hospital and came back home, and you really don't feel yourself for the first few weeks. You're a bit dizzy and a bit that. But the thing I'd like to say is that when you hear this news and you get rocked like I was, I think it's a very important and a very opportunistic time to actually focus on your life. And I've had a real change. My whole diet, my whole outlook on things, everything has changed just because of this tumor. It's made me realize that life is short, and you've got to really appreciate things, and it's really opened my eyes quite a bit. So if you have the opportunity to reevaluate things, I highly recommend it, because this is a pretty good chance to do it. So there's something really positive that you can actually do out of the situation. Went for my checkup 2 weeks ago after the surgery, and the scar, you can barely notice it anymore. My hair's grown back, which is really good. My ear looks like a bit of a rugby pop's ear, because it's a little bit deformed, but that should come back to its normal self. So if you have a look, it's a little bit wobbly, but it was like this, so it's definitely coming back into place, which is good. The two surgeons in Brisbane did a fantastic job. If you email me or you write on the page, I'll send you the details. I just don't know if I should do it on YouTube. But two incredible surgeons preserved the nerve, the facial nerve, which I was really grateful for. Obviously, having a tumor sitting on it for how many years now, it's really stunned. But there's definitely a lot of facial movement coming back, and I couldn't move the side of my face at all a month ago. And if you look closely, there's definitely some movement going on there, which I'm very grateful for. And went for the checkup, and they said face should be back to normal in a month, which is really great news. And the tumor was benign. Obviously, it's an acoustic neuroma, but there was always a little tiny chance. But no, it's benign. Everything's good. I started back at work a week ago, just part-time, just obviously because you get quite tired with the surgery, but been going to restaurants and seeing friends again, and life is just getting back to normal. And I think you've got to realize that hearing news like this and going in for the surgery, if you are going to or you have, life will get back to normal. You can't see it at the time because you're so worried about everything, but everything gets back to normal. You will be your normal self again, and if things don't go quite 100%, just remember, we adapt. We get used to things. And I don't even notice this anymore. And I guess that's just, and also it could be a lot worse. The one thing I really try to remember when I first got this thing was that, as a surgeon said to me, if you're going to have something growing in your head, you want this, because there are so many things that grow in your head that they can't operate on, that are fast growing, that are cancerous, that are this, that are that, that are so many other bad things. So if you've got this, you're not lucky, but in the big scheme of things, for bad things growing in your head, you're very lucky. So just remember that. And if you are going for surgery, just remember, be positive. There are a lot of good stories out there. You might not see them all on YouTube, but that's because everyone's getting on with their life. And I just think, just all the best for everyone. If you're going for the surgery, and anyone that's had the surgery, congratulations, and I hope you're making fast recoveries. And if anyone would like to email me or contact me just with my advice or just anything, just give me a shout. Alright, all the best. Bon voyage. Cheers.